How you feeling? His name is Mike. His father sold rocks for a living. Mother has an addiction. Classic urban story. Love at first sale. And now she's got thin hair. Now she's got these brittle nails, and the insides of her hands are so pale she must have died years ago. She's an addict. And Mike usually sleeps in the attic because it's the only place where he can't hear the sound of his mother bartering sexual favors for crack. He's like half black and apparently mixed with something else. His mother says he don't have no father, never speaks his name, blames him for her addiction. I'm guessing he introduced her to this shit. He's a drug dealer. It's what they do. They turn peach blossoms into strange fruit hanging from trees, not knowing the disease giving birth to seeds like Mike. And honestly, Mike is one of the smartest seeds that I've ever seen. But how exactly? How exactly is he supposed to be positive when his whole neighborhood is just a crime scene that America has chosen not to investigate? Pay attention. Israel and Palestine really aren't that much different from Southside Chicago. Terrorism is still terrorism no matter where you live. And Mike, he's lived on ground zero his whole life, but there were no firemen looking for survivors. Meanwhile, most poets, they seek comfort in preaching the gospel in front of choirs. When kids like Mike don't go to church. You see, Mike is like a last car in an empty parking lot just waiting to be driven home, and no one can seem to find the keys. He's 17 with 2 kids, a prison record that he's already dropped out of school twice. He smokes blunts to calm his nerves. Oh, he's talking about fuck life, and exactly how are you going to save him? Poets, what are you going to do when your nice little metaphors just don't mean shit? You see, a whole lot of poets, they talk a real good game about saving the world, but you know what? I'm going to conduct an experiment. Watch. Like one of these days, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to call all the poets to the stage. And as soon as they get here, I'm going to move the mic stand and I'm going to let Mike stand right where the mic was, and I dare you. I dare you to talk about a revolution to somebody who can't see past tomorrow. Talk about love to a kid who's never been held. Talk about freedom to a young man that doesn't even know that he's in jail. Speak about the benefits of education to a kid who reads poorly and can't spell. I dare you. Because it's real easy to be an activist when you're only an activist when you're standing behind a fucking mic. But I challenge you. Take all the words you say on this stage. Walk through those doors and change somebody's life. I dare you.
I can't say that there is a main message. I've heard spoken word pieces on butterflies. I've heard spoken word pieces on, saving whales. I've heard spoken word pieces on, forget about the whale, save the black male. I mean, there is no main message. Spoken word covers everything. I mean, everything from the moon to the sea, and everything in between.
I just want to sit in his glory in the Garden of Eden under the apple tree watching apples rot. Adam's got a lot of nerve blaming Eve for the sin, but if we're supposed to be men, then let's lead them. Then we can teach our seeds how to lead instead of teaching our seeds how to lead.
I think spoken word informs others because it's very personal. The poets get up there and they share their art. They share their creativity. They share their sometimes their innermost thoughts. Sometimes it's the thoughts of other people, but it's still a sharing. And so, yeah, I think in the sharing, that's where the magic is. I would say if it motivates somebody, it's in the sharing of the message. I think to know that somebody might be going through something similar, or to know how they handle a similar situation, or to know that there's far worse out there than what you're going through, is a motivating factor for some people, and for some people just sitting in the audience and listening is a motivating factor. I don't know what exactly motivates people, but I know that people leave in a different place.
So that he is president, small p, of America, small a, 3 Ks, the small p, small a, 3 Ks, America, president looked up at us believers in peace, and he does not. I made a 1-second eye contact with him in that angry protest moment. In that beautiful nonviolent exercise in democracy, he looked up at me from his vehicle of privilege abuse, and in that moment, he saw me. When he saw me, he saw you.
Yes and no. I see it as a form of the poet speaking what's on their mind. How free they are to do that still, comes under question sometimes. I don't think the poets still can speak as free as they want sometimes. Like, there's still, even with spoken words, some performance value that the audience is looking to get, some entertainment value. So a poet can come up and if they spoke completely freely and delivered the way that was in their heart, they might not be received as well. But I think they're more free than, say, hip-hop or rap artists. I think they're more free than politicians, but still, I think there's still some constraints or restrictions on poets.
We hit the block and the police pull us over immediately. They're like, oh shit, they up to some shit. Like, let's get them. They thought they had us. They thought we had guns and everything. They made us get out of the car. So like, while they're frisking us and shit, this old lady came out of her house and she was like, send them to war. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Send me to war? Well, she said, send them to war. So, I wrote a poem about it, in response. Fuck you. How dare you suggest they're handing me over to a government who can give 2 fucks about me? 9/11 didn't go down like they want you to believe on TV. It was strategically planned. Osama bin Laden and the Taliban were just cover-ups. So if you want to catch the real terrorists, go to the American government. Saddam is hanging while they're still bombing countries that I can barely pronounce. And I'm not down talking American troops who will fight for what they believe is right because they've been fooled, bamboozled. They tell you just to join the U.S. military, they will give you money for school. But what's the use of money for school if they ship you off to a war that you're not promised to make it back from? That's just a clever way of telling you that they bought your ass for cheap. So I'm giving this lesson for cheap. Let's go back in time and you will find that they've been doing us wrong with no Vaseline for years. The Declaration of Independence used to have 3/5 claws to ensure that 3-inch claws stay shackled to the ankles of millions of slaves. Not to mention the public lynchings of millions of slaves. So I don't understand why you recommend me handing my soul over to that devil that's in the higher command. I am a soldier in the army of the Lord, and you don't have to give me an explanation for why you said it. I already know what you were thinking. No. I am not a gangbanger. The only deadly weapon I contain in my hand is a pen, and it's cocked back and loaded. And I'm ready to shoot rubber shots and flooding your brains into your head so you can see the ignorant shit that you've been thinking. And really, I am not trying to be political because war is not the answer, but I am in combat every time I step foot on my house. There's a battlefield outside of my house, so you tell me. If me going to war would make this world any different. See, I don't condone the bombing homes and accidentally killing our own troops. Because I know at home they're shooting up homes and actually killing our own troops. And I know a change is going to come one day. But the change needs to start with you. So stop feeding into the stereotypes. Go back into your home. You might still have time to catch the end of American Idol.
Paid to hang with kids at an after-school program, and after 2 years on the job, I realized that no man can truly understand what it's like to walk in some of these kids' shoes, because the way their neighborhood is portrayed on the local news gives them a sense of pride and shame at the same time. They're tired of being fed the same lie. They tell me we want to be gangsters when we grow up, because here it doesn't matter if you're in a house before it's dark, because most of these shootings happen in broad daylight on busy cross streets. So they got beef, shooting each other's over colorblind. We got invisible children right here in San Diego, y'all.
And then when I was feeling in my left hand, I put the pen in my mouth and move. Move you with the same lips that I kiss broken hearts with. Move you with the same lips that I spit these words with. Move until I choke. Move until I die. Move and keep moving. me keeping love alive for you. It's always been for you. Even back then, I decided to wish for the world.
You have to speak the truth. You have to speak your mind. Every time I speak my mind, I'm lyrically critical. The pinnacle of being revolutionarily pivotal. Beyond anything ever studied that's metaphysical. Man, a minority. I'm not politically minimal, but obviously terminologies that are statistical are manufactured to be unequivocally subliminal, transmitted by monopolized media visuals. So I riddle hypocritically pitiful criminals, habitually utilizing typical rituals with false pretense in attempts to be spiritual to individuals who believe in biblical miracles instead of themselves.